Hello there and warm welcome to Elumba Television. My name is Angel Lady, and today we've got Jace for you. Today being the last day of the year 2020, Elumba Television would like to say to you congratulations for coming this far. It's not easy. 2020 did throw a lot at us, but here we are all together, hale and hearty. Of course, we did lose some lives, but we're still here. To those that lost their lives in the course of the journey of 2020, we say, may they rest in peace. And for you who are still alive, who's here and now, we say congratulations. And we also wish and pray that we all will step into 2021 better and ready for what the year will throw at us. And of course, we hoping that 2021 will be a positive year, a happier year, and a better year for us all. Okay, so quickly we'll look at what we've got for you for today. As usual, we'll bring you a news roundup of what's happening, what's happened in the day, and also would give you a story, a gist before we dive into that. And today we're looking at Aisha Yesuf. She's been named the Person of the Year by the Guardian newspapers, and a lot has been going on. People are reacting to that award for the Person of the Year. They're saying some things. I'm sure you also would want to know what they are saying. So in a moment, we'll share the screen with you for you to see what's going on, what people are saying on Twitter following that naming Person of the Year of Aisha Yesuf. So quickly, let's show you. So here we go. The Guardian did mention Persons of the Year, and Aisha Yesuf was named that beautiful person of the year. What are her followers saying about it? If you like yourself, just pull out all your money from at GT and hashtag NSAS, hashtag lockdown, hashtag COVID-19. Okay, please, what's happening? The good night saying. But here is Awaken B saying, Aisha Yesuf for president. If a person is a selfless for people she doesn't know and took beatings for their plight to be heard, she deserves to be more than applauded. The struggle continues. Hashtag NSAS. This one says hashtag NSAS is trending. Okay, quick question. What happened to the proposed YDP? Abina, when you reach like 2 weeks to election, we go make move. Atiku, Tinubu, and Co are already making their move, so before we know it, we'll say let's wait for 2027. And this one says we have learned not to wait on anyone. Starts it. I guess it's supposed to be start the move. Okay. And this one is from Shangon Park saying, my prayers for all the victims of the vicious greediness of a few people. The government should be a protector of the people, but thousands are being killed when they are peacefully protesting. Let's help Nigeria heal. Let us help in the calling of Nigerians to end hashtag NSAS. This one says, hello at Aisha Yesuf, great warrior. Please let's fight here on Twitter. Today, December 31st, 2020 at 7 p.m. in honor of those we lost to the hashtag NSAS movement. Please retweet for awareness. Thank you. And this one is from Rashida. The hashtag NSAS connoisseurs don't believe in charity anymore. They believe in solidarity. Charity is a vertical, so it's humiliating, but solidarity is horizontal. It respects and learns from the other. Powerful piece at The Guardian. And this one says, ha ha ha, the life itself is vertical and horizontal, just like a TV circuit. And Cletus Wafo says, we continue to demand justice for peaceful hashtag NSAS protesters victims of hashtag Lekki Massacre on the 20th of October 2020 by at M. Buhari and at Jide Sanwo-Olu. May the patriotic memories of a just Nigerian flag bless us. May the Nigerian flag anthem they chanted and the flag they held inspire patriotism. We're still on Aisha's page and the response she's getting from that person of the year mentioned. May their patriotic memories of a just... Okay, I took that already. Okay, what we need is a collaboration with our moms and dads. We cannot continue to play safe with the destiny of this nation. Mama, after now, the useless government will want to go after the at Guardian Nigeria, but we will not end the fight with God on our side. Sorosoke generation. Anytime I see hashtag NSAS trending, I am always happy, I guess, because Sorosuke generation know the fall hand as we move to hashtag revolution now. These are some of the comments following the tweet on Aisha Yesuf being named the person of the year for the fight, uh, following the fight on hashtag NSAS, which took place in Nigeria in October 2020. So we're diving straight to the news space we've got for you today. First, the headlines. 22 killed in Aden airport blast as Yemen's unity government arrives. Don't allow Arawa community in Lagos to split. AYCF urges Sanwo-Olu. 554 youths in Katsina State trained as special police constables. CP. A credible leader will always take responsibility, whether good or bad. Solomon Ebo attacks Kano in a letter. Let's give you the details of the stories. A huge explosion at main airport in Yemen's southern city of Aden killed 22 people on Wednesday, shortly after a new unity government arrived at the facility from Saudi Arabia, the Interior Ministry said. 50 others were injured in the blast, the ministry added. The injury included airport workers and people who were there to welcome members of the new government, the ministry said. The Red Cross said 3 of its employees, 2 Yemeni and a Rwandan national, were killed in the blast and 3 more injured. 2 of the employees killed had originally been reported as unaccounted for. Our staff were transmitting through the airport with other civilians. This is a tragic day for us and the people of hashtag Yemen, the humanitarian organization tweeted. In the wake of the blast, the members of government of the war-torn country were safely transferred to a presidential palace in Aden, a government official had earlier told DPA. So far, there has been no claim of responsibility for the attack. However, Minister of Information Malmal al-Ariani blamed the explosion on Yemen's Iran-linked Houthi rebels. We assure our people that all cabinet members are safe and cowardly terrorist attack by Iran-backed Houthi militia on Aden Airport will not deter us from our duty, he tweeted in English. The United Nations envoy for Yemen, Martin Griffiths, condemned the attack. This unacceptable act of violence is a tragic reminder of the importance of bringing Yemen urgently back on the path towards peace, he wrote on Twitter. The attacks were timed with the arrival of new Yemeni government officials and once again demonstrate the malicious intent of those trying to destabilize Yemen, U.S. Department of State's spokesperson Carl Brown said in a statement. Such attacks will not stop or undermine efforts to bring a lasting peace that the Yemeni people deserve, he added. Aden has been Yemen's temporary capital since the Houthis overran the capital Sana'a in late 2014 in a devastating power struggle. On Saturday, President Abd Rabu Mansour Hadi swore in the new government that was formed under a power-sharing deal brokered by Saudi Arabia last year. Reacting to the blast, Hadi, who is living in Saudi Arabia, called on the government to do its job from Aden. The terrorist acts carried out by the Houthi militias, supported by Iran and their militant terrorist group, will not discourage the legitimate government from undertaking its tasks from the temporary capital, Aden, he said, according to Yemen's official news agency Sabah. Hadi ordered the government's probe in coordination with a Saudi-led military coalition, Sabah reported. The 24-strong government includes members of the Separatist Southern Transitional Council, STC, as part of a bid to end a power struggle between the secessionists and loyalists to Hadi. The new government represents Yemen's northern and southern areas with an equal number of members from each region. The STC, formed in 2017, is backed by the United Arab Emirates, while Hadi's government is backed by Saudi Arabia. Both are part of the Saudi-led coalition formed in 2015 to fight the Houthi rebels. Yemen's conflict has pushed the Arab country to the brink of famine and devastated its health facilities. And we go over to Western countries express support for UN-facilitated Libyan political dialogue. Germany, Italy, and United States, France, and Britain on Wednesday reiterated full support for the success of the UN-facilitated Libyan Political Dialogue Forum, LPDF, and interrelated economic and security dialogues, according to a joint statement. The statement was issued after ambassadors of Germany, Italy, and the US, and Charge Affairs of France and Britain, joined by the UN support mission in Libya, met virtually with Libya's UN-backed Prime Minister Fayez Sarraj. The diplomats welcomed the recent prisoner exchange between Libya rival parties and urged rapid progress to facilitate the reopening of the Misrata-Sirte coastal highway as agreed by the 5+5 Joint Military Commission in October, the statement said. The heads of the mission noted that for the intended formation of the executive authority within the LPDF framework, strong and engaged Libyan leadership is needed ahead of elections in December 2021. They also emphasized the need for public commentary to be constructive and in support of the progress, it added. The statement confirmed that the international actors were closely monitoring actions by all parties to fulfill their commitments to the success of the dialogues and stressed the importance of the role of the UN-backed government of national accord in fully supporting the process. The heads of mission also reiterated the call for the international community's full support for the Libyan-led UN-convened political process, including the LPDF and October 23rd ceasefire agreement, it said. The Eastern-based army and the UN-backed government has been engaged in a deadly armed conflict for over a year in and around capital Tripoli, which ended in early June when the UN-backed government announced its takeover of all western Libya after withdrawal of the Eastern-based army. On October 23rd, Libyan delegations to the 5+5 Joint Military Commission talks in Geneva signed a UN-sponsored permanent ceasefire agreement. During the LPDF held on November 7 to 15th, the Tunisia's capital, Tunis, 75 Libyans representing the social and political spectrum of the Libyan society participated to discuss a political roadmap to achieve lasting peace in war-torn Libya. The participants agreed to hold general elections in Libya on the 23rd of December 2021. They also voted on a mechanism to select the unified executive authority of the country. China approves its first coronavirus vaccine from Sinopharm. China has approved for conditional use its first coronavirus vaccine, developed by state-owned pharmaceutical company Sinopharm. The approval, announced by the Joint Prevention and Control Mechanism of the State Council, has come a day after Sinopharm said its vaccine was found to be 79.3% effective in preliminary data from the final round of testing. China aims to vaccinate at least 50 million people before the start of the Lunar New Year holiday in mid-February in order to prevent the disease from spreading as hundreds of millions of people are expected to travel home for the holidays. Nigeria's stock market advances further by 214 billion naira. The nation's bourse extended bullish posture on Wednesday, with the market capitalization increasing further by 214 billion naira to sustain bargain hunting of blue chips. Specifically, the market capitalization, which opened at 20.446 trillion naira, rose by 214 billion naira to close at 20.660 trillion naira, supported by interest in Bois cement. Also, the all-share index appreciated by 402.14 points, or 1.03%, to close at 39,512.31 from 39,110.17 achieved on Tuesday. Accordingly, month-to-date and year-to-date gain increased by 12.8% and 42.2%, respectively. The uptrend was also driven by price appreciation in medium and large capitalized stock, among which are Boa Cement, International Breweries, Eternal, C&I Leasing, and NEM Insurance. Commenting, President, Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers (CIS), Mr. Olatunde Amolegbe, described the Nigerian Stock Exchange (NSC) emergence as the best performing stock market as good news for investors. This is certainly good news for investors in particular and our country in general. It is heartwarming that after suffering the hangover of the global financial crisis longer than most other countries, the most gratifying fact about this performance is that it is actually backed by fundamental performances of our quoted companies. The performance also underpins the need for improvement in liquidity flow to the market through various sources that we at the CIS have been advocating in the last few years. The reduction in interest rate and fixed income yield had been a net positive for quoted companies that are now able to borrow cheaper to finance their operations, as well as for market operators that can see renewed interest in the financial markets. The NSE's performance is also an affirmation of our market's increasing correlation with other global markets, Amolegbe said. He expressed optimism that the trend will continue into the new year. The CIS boss, however, urged investors speak to the certified stockbrokers before taking any investment decision. The news agency of Nigeria now reports that market breadth closed positive with 24 gainers in contrast with 19 stock losers. Eternal Breweries, and Boa Cement led the gainers chart in percentage terms, gaining 10% each to close at 5.61, 59,000 and 70.40 naira per share respectively. C&I Leasing followed with 9.74% to close at 4.73 at 4 naira 73 kobo, while Japol Gold and Ventures went up by 9.62% to close at 57,000 per share. On the other hand, FTN Cocoa Processors dominated the losers chart in percentage terms, losing 9.88% to close at 73,000 per share. Deep Capital Management and Trust followed with 7.41% to close at 25,000, while Honeywell Flour Mill declined by 6.77% to close at 1 naira 27 kobo per share. Flour Mills lost 5.45% to close at 26 naira, while Union Bank of Nigeria shed 5.36% to close at 5 naira 30 kobo per share. Meanwhile, the total volume of shares traded declined by 48.39% with a total of 372.93 million shares worth 11.50 billion naira in 5,186 deals. This was among a turnover of 722.52 billion shares valued at 4.38 billion naira exchanged in 5,042 deals on Tuesday. Transactions in the shares of United Bank for Africa topped the activity chart with 60.57 million shares worth 524.73 million naira. Dangote Cement trailed with 33.17 million shares valued at 8.04 billion naira, while Zenith Bank traded 27.54 million shares worth 690.85 million naira. Access Bank sold 24.45 million shares valued at 215.02 million naira, while Transcorp transacted 20.98 million shares worth 19.21 million naira. Abdulsalam Lagos LP eulogizes late national leader. December 30, 2020, the Labour Party LP says the death of Alhaji Abdulkadir Abdulsalam, the national chairman of the party, has created a huge hole in the ranks of courageous fighters for a just society. Prince Ifagbemi Awamaridi, the Lagos State chairman of LP, told the news agency of Nigeria in Lagos that Abdulsalam contributed a lot to nation building in the country. NAN reports that Abdusalam died in Abuja, the nation's capital, on Tuesday, December 29, 2020. Our Maridi, who was the 2019 governorship candidate of LP in Lagos, described the late national chairman of the party as a dogged fighter. He was a courageous fighter. He succeeded in ensuring Labour Party was not delisted, despite the party's financial difficulties. Abdusalam's commitment to a just and egalitarian society was uncommon. He has done his best, and we will miss him, our Maridi said. Khan urges adherence to COVID-19 protocol as Makinde approves crossover service. The Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) Oyo State chapter has advised worshippers in the state to adhere strictly to COVID-19 safety protocol directives by the government on the crossover night service. The state chairman CAN Apostle Joshua Akinyemiju gave the advice in a statement on Wednesday in Ibadan. Akinyemiju commended the state government Sheyi Makinde for giving approval that the Thursday crossover night worship to usher in 2021 be observed in the state. The news agency of Nigeria recalls that the State Task Force on COVID-19 has on Tuesday declared that the state government ruled out crossover services over a curfew imposed by the federal government. Makinde, however, endorsed the brief by Professor Temi Tokwe Alonge, the chairman of COVID-19 Task Force Technical Team, on Wednesday, which reviewed the earlier pronouncement by the team and lifted the curfew. Akinyemiju, who expressed delight at the decision of the governor, warned that the worship centers must adhere strictly to the advisories and guidelines put in place to prevent the spread of the virus in the state. They should put on their face masks, provide washing hand basin, as well as keep physical distancing in the worship center. Every church leader in the state should please ensure that the crossover does not exceed 12:30 a.m. We pray that the governor will continue to drive the leadership of the state at a balance without error. Repairing refineries, panacea for good 2021 economic prospects, ex-CBN director. Dr. Titus Okoromo, a former director of budgetary department of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), has called on the federal government to make concerted efforts at repairing the nation's refineries for good economic performance in 2021. Okoromo, who made the call in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria on Wednesday in Ota, Ogun State, the country needs to build and repair its refineries if it wants to have a good economic performance in 2021. He stated that there were no oil-producing countries who sold crude oil only to go abroad and buy refined products, except Nigeria, saying that once the country stopped exporting crude oil and began refining, the whole world will come to Nigeria to buy refined petroleum products. The former director said besides enabling the country meet its domestic demand for refined petroleum products, the economy will be more buoyant with the revenue inflow. He further said that the byproducts like aviation fuel, engine oil, among others from the crude oil could be exported to earn foreign exchange for the country, which it can plow back into diversifying the economy as well as leverage to lift the nation out of recession. Don't allow Arewa community in Lagos to split. AYCF urges Sanwo-Olu. The details. The Arewa Youth Consultative Forum AYCF on Wednesday cautioned against the gang-up to split the Arewa community in Lagos State over chieftaincy matters. Alhaji Yerima Shetima, the national president of AYCF, in a statement in Lagos, urged the state government not to fold its hands and think all is well with the community. He said that the dangerous move against the unity and brotherhood that held the Arewa community together for decades must be checked. Our attention has been drawn to the subtle attempt to deliberately create division amongst the Arewa community in Lagos through the back door, using the office of Alhaji Kabiru Ahmed, the Waterfront Commissioner for Lagos. This avoidable friction amongst the Arewa community is obviously engineered by anti-peace and unity elements. We cannot fathom what is the business of a waterfront commissioner with the unity, recognition, and respect of the monarch in the Arewa community in Lagos. We are worried that the Arewa community has been asking questions about why the Lagos state government has allowed the waterfront commissioner to dominate or hijack what should ordinarily be the role of a commissioner for local government and chieftaincy titles, Shettima said. The AYCF president cautioned against alleged meddling and interference by Ahmed, a member of the community, in a matter that strictly concerned the monarchy in the group. We would like to categorically state that this subtle attempt to disunite and destabilize the unity of the Arawa community in Lagos will be met with legitimate resistance from Northerners of good conscience within and outside Lagos. We will no longer fold our arms and watch the desecration of our traditional heritage in Lagos, Shettima said. According to him, the AYCF condemns in the strongest terms the conspiracy to create bad blood and destabilize the Arawa community by creating wrong impressions about the Arawa Council of Chiefs' established succession process. Shettima urged Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu not to allow division and disunity in the group over chieftaincy matters to fester. 554 youths in Katsina State trained as special police constables, CP. No fewer than 554 Katsina State youths have been trained as special police constables as part of measures to enforce community policing. The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Sanusi Buba, disclosed this on Wednesday in Katsina in a statement issued by the Command's Public Relations Officer, SP Gambo Isa. The CP urged the newly trained special constables to be upright, disciplined, and dedicated to their duties. He said that they will be posted to their respective communities to assist in reducing crime. He urged them to follow the rudiments of the training they received as they have the full powers and privilege of police officers. Buba said that the special constables will wear full police black uniforms with a green background at the cap badge, shoulder strap, and under the name tag. The CP, however, said that they would not be allowed to carry firearms. He pointed out that they will be deployed for simple and routine duties such as crowd and traffic control and patrol duties. And post-Brexit bill receives royal stamp of approval. The post-Brexit trade bill has received royal assent from Queen Elizabeth II, Commons Speaker Lindsay Hoyle said in the early hours of Thursday, meaning it is now officially law in Britain. The legislation, officially called the European Union Future, sets out the trade rules between Britain and the bloc from January 1st. On Wednesday, it was presented. Lawmakers in the House of Commons voted 521 to 73, a majority of 448, in support of the deal. It then received an unopposed third reading in the House of Lords after nearly 8 hours of debate. Shortly after the House of Lords result, the Queen gave it her official stamp of approval, officially turning the bill into British law. In response to the approval from the House of Lords, Prime Minister Boris Johnson thanked lawmakers and peers for passing his post-Brexit trade deal. The destiny of this great country now resides firmly in our hands, he said. We take on this duty with a sense of purpose and with the interests of the British public at the heart of everything we do. 11 p.m. on December 31st marks a new beginning in our country's history as a new relationship with the EU as their biggest ally. This moment is finally upon us and now is the time to seize it, he said. The approval comes after the European Union and Britain signed the post-Brexit deal on Wednesday. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council Chief Charles Michel put their ink on the agreement on Wednesday morning, and Johnson followed several hours later at 1600 GMT. It has been a long road. It's time now to put Brexit behind us. Our future is made in Europe, von der Leyen said on Twitter after the signing ceremony. In a similar vein, Michel hailed the signing of the agreement as the beginning of different trade relations with London. New chapter, new relationship, Michel said. Johnson took a more humorous tone and told reporters, I know the question you'll all be asking yourselves is, have I read it? The answer is yes. And it's an excellent deal for this country, but also for our friends and partners. The 27 EU ambassadors gave their go-ahead for the provisional application on Tuesday afternoon. The deal, which provides for zero tariffs and zero quotas between the trading partners, still needs to be ratified by the European Parliament. The European Commission proposed a period of provisional application until 28th of February, but this might be extended if the lawmakers are scheduled to give their approval in March. 22 Uni-Ilorin lecturers win international research grants. Two senior lecturers of the Department of Anatomy, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, College of Health Sciences, University of Ilorin, Dr. Gabriel Omotosho and Dr. Aminu Imam, have won 3 research grants. The University of Ilorin management disclosed that the notification was contained in separate letters signed by the Director of Professional Development Programs, Dr. Rebecca Hadid, and Professor Alessandro Prinetti of University of Milano in Italy. According to the letter, Omotosho won the 2019 International Brain Research Organization African Regional and International Society for Neurochemistry Committee for Aid and Education in Neurochemistry Research Grants. Imam won the International Society for Neurochemistry Committee for Aid and Education in Neurochemistry, RSNCAEN, it said. It stated that the grants that came at the instance of their various research efforts are worth €500, $4,700, and $3,800 respectively, to be used for both traveling and local expenses during the laboratory exchanges. It added that the duo won the grant after due consideration of various entries of 12 and 33 applicants in various categories. In his reaction, Omotosho stated that the award is a competition award given to African neuroscientists for laboratory exchange in developed countries. Omotosho, who is also the head of the Department of Anatomy, said that he was one of the 4 Africans that received the award to allow him visit a laboratory at the University of Huddersfield, United Kingdom, to carry out neuroscience research. He stated that the grant sum is €5,000, adding that the visit is yet to be undertaken due to COVID-19 pandemic. He explained that the study, which is still ongoing, is to investigate the role colaveron and moringa oleifera in exchanging remyelination in models of multiple sclerosis. Omotosho also explained the grant awards for Dr. Aminu Imam, saying that he received the International Society for the Neurochemistry Committee for Aid and Education Neurochemistry Research Grant Award in February. That he stated that this would enable him visit a foreign laboratory at the Department of Human Anatomy and Embryology, UP Medicine, Universidad General Castelló de la Palma, Spain. According to him, Imam will undertake a 3-month research, and this benefited the grant sum of $3,800, he added. And finally, a report on the credible leader will always take responsibility, whether good or bad, by Solomon Ebo. Solomon Ebo attacks Carlo in a letter. Let's get the details. Solomon Ebo, a former member of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB in Manchester, United Kingdom, has written to Nnamdi Kanu, accusing him of failing to take responsibility for #EndSARS Carnage and the #MNM Massacre. Ebo said Kanu instructed IPOB members to go on rampage during the peaceful protests, which resulted to death and many sustaining life-threatening injuries. He said instead Nnamdi Kanu to take responsibility for his action, he turned around to use propaganda to blame others for his woes. Solomon Ebo, who was Kanu's former ally before his recent dismissal from the organization, further said that a credible leader will always take responsibility, whether good or bad, for his actions. But in the case of the arrogant and reckless Nnamdi Kanu, he blames others for his failures and weaknesses. The letter read in part: Dear Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you instructed IPOB members under your command to control to attack police, military, government properties, and politicians. During the attack, so many of them were killed, while many sustained life-threatening injuries. You also gave an instruction for them to go for trading at Emene, Enugu State, and when the contraction called Nigeria security agents infiltrated and attacked them, instead of taking responsibility for your action, you decided to go on propaganda as usual and blame others for your woes. A credible leader will always take responsibility, whether good or bad, for his actions. But in the case of the arrogant and reckless Nnamdi Kanu, he blames others for his failures and weaknesses. We won't let you get away with the reckless and wicked behavior anymore. And neither are we going to let you blackmail Uche Okafor Mefo and other Biafrans anymore. Genuine Biafrans must make sure that you are held accountable for these reckless actions. Signed, Solomon Egbo. With that, we'll come to the end of what we've got for you today. And I'd like to say thank you so much for staying all the way. And do not forget to take a trip to Instagram to follow our page. And also come over to Facebook, like our Facebook page, and head straight to YouTube, subscribe to this channel, and turn on notifications so that when next we come here, you'll get notified of what we've got for you. Thank you so much, and remember to have yourself a safe crossover and have yourself a prosperous